Hello, I'm Gavin Harris and welcome to the Kernow Show. Today I am joined by Lisa Bailey-Brown, the Client Success Supporter for SWBC, the South West Business Connections, and host of Love Always Lisa podcast. Lisa, thank you very much for joining me today. I want to talk to you straight away because I know you're very, very active on social media.
Yep.
Tell me, how important is social media for you and what you do?
Very important. I've been on Facebook since probably when it first started and always used it as just a tool for family connections. But then when I started working for Urban Planters, I basically, social media was quite new back along. And when I relocated from Nottingham to the South West, it was kind of like the cold calling aspect was just not working. But as soon as I got onto social media and became Lisa, that actually when it started to work for me, and it helped me meet a lot of people. And so now for my job, we obviously help people promote their businesses with their own content, because obviously that's what you do, you create content, but we help those people that have gone to guys like you. And every day I post on social media, just all different stuff really. Tends to be more of the normal stuff, the stuff to get people chatting and have a bit of a giggle, and the less serious side of things, because you know nobody wants to just be bombarded with constant sales posts, and I try to do things that are the way that I would look at it. So you
look at it from a consumer's point of view.
Exactly, yeah. And having been in sales for 20 odd years, I've never been your traditional salesperson. Because I can't sell anything. But actually I've sold lots of things just because I've been exactly as I am, and that's just talking about stuff that's real. And I think from social media, there is a lot of things that can be quite negative on there. We spoke this morning about things that, I don't like people just for the sake of it being quite mean and stuff, because there's no need for that.
Yeah.
But, everyone's different. Everyone's got a different opinion and a different view. And that's the thing. I think that when you find what's right for you and you start sharing your content, and you'll know when it works for you, because you'll
People
be
will
getting engaged. Yeah. And obviously for us, that's what we do. We engage, connect and grow businesses with social media as part of that. So
100%. And something you're very, very good at is generating engagement. What's your process? And I appreciate, like you say, you're not a traditional salesperson, but you are a salesperson indirectly.
Yeah.
What's your process once you've got these people engaging with you? How do you kind of take it to the next level?
Well, I've always been a little bit different with regards to how I approach connecting with people anyway, because sounds really stupid, but I'm not really bothered about what your job is, because from my perspective, a lot of the people in the South West have multiple hats, and people change their jobs all the time, but you are still you. So I like to get to know the person first and understand who they are, what sort of person they are themselves, what sort of things they like and do, because then I can connect them with the people that are going to be their type of people. And that's going to then make it easier for you to then build on those connections.
That ties in with the networking aspect as well.
Exactly. So, and so, because all of this for us leads up towards, the other thing that we do. So it's kind of like, I just think that when I'm talking to people, there's no hidden agenda. I'm just explaining to people what we do. If they want to jump on board, then great. If they don't, then they don't. There's no pressure. And that's why I say I'm not a salesperson, because for me, growing up, salespeople were always pressured, car sales and all that. And I know it's very different now. It's not 1980.
It's funny you say that, because something you've touched upon that I learned about a few years ago, and you've almost, again, without being rude, I think you've almost stumbled into it without realising it, is that, like you say, back in the 1980s and the 1990s, before I was even in sales, people, if you were trying to sell something, you'd always try and get to the decision maker, always about getting to the decision maker as soon as you can. And even in some roles I've worked in recently, it's been the same.
Yeah.
But what studies have found is that actually if you try and tap into the influencers, the people that maybe don't make the end decision, but the people that will influence the decision, your success rates go through the roof.
Yeah.
I wish I had some stats to hand actually, but I don't. A chap called Darryl Prale from a company called VanillaSoft, they do a lot of reports themselves.
Yeah.
Like they have some incredible stats on that kind of thing. And you've kind of moved us nicely into my next question. And obviously, like you say, everything that you guys do is geared up to make an event, the South West Business Connections event, which is on
10th of November.
10th of November. And that's face-to-face because touch wood.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, these things take a long time to prepare for. And obviously last year we weren't able to put it on. So I only joined South West Business Connections in July last year. But I've worked with Dave Barr for the last 7 years as an exhibitor with Urban. And so it's quite easy for me to be able to say to people that it does work because I've been part of it.
You've experienced it from the consumer point of view.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why I feel that when I'm talking about stuff, I don't ever want to be telling people advice on stuff that I don't believe in myself. But I know it works. You have to work hard at it. You've got to plan and prepare. And so for us, it's 6 months down the line that this event's going to be going on. It's going to be slightly different. There's a few things that we have to do because of the COVID rules. Whether they will change or not, people always ask, well, is it going to go ahead? Well, it's going to go ahead as far as we're concerned. But if there is another lockdown and things change, then it won't, will it? But we can't decide that. But we have to plan and we have to prepare. And the last few weeks, there's been a lot of interest. It's almost like it's gone from being... last August, there was I think there was an influx of 20... In one day, 25, 50 people making inquiries about exhibiting for last year. Yeah. And then obviously it all went bad. And
you did something else then, didn't you?
I did, and I was like, I'm on the podcast, don't swear. And so it went bad. And then... come March, we thought we were going to do it then and we weren't able to. But now it's like everyone's gone, do you know what? We want to do this. We want to get back out. We want the face-to-face stuff. The Zoom calls are great for you to not go, long distance for a meeting. But I think people are bored of it. I know I am. I want people. And coming here today, it's like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Because I'm here.
Exactly.
So and again, you've segued lovely into my next question. So with events on the horizon, and you've perhaps not experienced, again, I've worked in events myself, but with your experience of actually exhibiting on behalf of urban planters, what advice would you give to somebody that was either looking to exhibit or perhaps they've already booked in to exhibit?
Well, basically, what you need to do to begin with is you've got to have a plan. You can't just go, I'm going to exhibit and then turn up on the day and expect people to fall at your feet. It doesn't work like that. What kind of
plans would you...
Well, so when the first year that I did it with Urban, we didn't listen to what Dave and the team said because we were like, we don't need to listen to them. But you do need to listen. Dave's got a lot of experience in this. He's done this for a long time. This actually will be the 10th anniversary. Wow. Last year should have been the 10th one, but because we couldn't.
Oh, okay. So it's been running for 11 years. So this will be the 10th.
So basically for him, he's done this for a long while. There's been lots of different businesses that have come through the doors as visitors and people who have come year on year to exhibit. They come back for a reason. Yep. It does work. But it only works if, A, you actually put the effort in. So that means to plan and prepare for the day by what you're going to do, what you're going to talk about, who's going, how many of you are going, what you're going to have on your stand, what's your stand going to look like. Are you just going to stand there with a table that's bare and then bare walls around you and everyone's like, oh, so what do they do? Yeah. So in order for us to help people... I
was going to say, it would be... People would probably go, what are they doing? Why have they got nothing around there? Probably would actually gather some interest.
You would be very surprised because there have been people in the past that have actually not had anything on the stand and then it's not gone so well because, you can't just sit behind a chair. It's not a day out. It's a day of hard work. And if you do it right, you can have a couple of you on the stand. One stays on the stand, meets and greets the people that come along, and then the other one goes and circulates. But because of COVID, we've got a different thing now as well. So anyone like yourself who's exhibiting has obviously a designated stand for them. And on our website, they have a designated page and people can book in an appointment to come and see you. Yep. So as well as you having the walk-ins, you will also have people that will book in. So we would say, advertise it now, promote it, tell people I'm going to be at the expo on stand XYZ and you can book in to come and meet me and have a chat. Or come along and let's, if you've not met them before, this is an ideal time because everyone's been behind a screen. So if you really want to meet these people, get out there and book on. And because everyone's got to book. You can't just turn up without booking now because, again, because of COVID, we have to. The same as if you go to a restaurant, you've got to scan the barcode. You've got to do all of that. It's just the way it is. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we will do an online, like a networking event with all of the exhibitors beforehand, probably 2 or 3, just to basically give you the idea of what you need to do to make the best of the expo. So it's top tips on how to make your stand look good, that you should have the roller banners, what signage you're going to use, how you're going to promote it. And like now, it's 6 months down the line. So really, if you start promoting that now, you start doing that on social media, you email your clients and say, hey, I'm going to be here, come and see me. But you could also meet a lot of other businesses.
Yep.
And that's kind of the thing. And over time for me at Urban, I realised quite fast that that's what I needed to do. So, of course, when I was on the stand, my colleague Sandra would be joining me. And then I'd go, I'm going to go and get a coffee. And I'd come back and she went, oh, all these people are here to talk to you. How do they all know you? Where do they come from? And it's because I'd been telling them I was going to be there. Come and see me and have a chat. For us, we had a visual product. But it doesn't matter. If you're an accountant, make your stand out.
Yeah.
You can get a blooming juggler or a magician. The magician chap, he's going to be...
John
there's
Martin.
so many opportunities for businesses to show what they do, but just, you've got to think out of the box a little bit.
You do.
And also, don't just think you're in that box. Look above you.
Yeah.
Because one year we put a tree up, a big tree.
Really?
And use the space above us. So if you can be quite clever, you can make people come to your stand just because you stand out more than the next person. So
it's funny because I've seen some. Again, I worked in events for 4 years, and I kind of went in with zero experience. But it was pretty. I imagine for yourself, really joining SWBC, just all this knowledge hits you, and you're like, oh my god! And you see what works, you see what doesn't work, and working as an exhibitor as well. I'm sure you tried things. Some things work better than other things.
Yeah.
And the one that really always worked was competitions.
Yeah.
But where a lot of people went wrong with competitions, and I saw, there was a company and they had an iPad. I can't remember what they did. I think they actually offered, I think they were a CRM. They offered a CRM platform, but they had, they did a thing where you drop your business card into the little roller thing, and you could win an iPad. Now the problem with that is they had about 2,000 people enter this competition. But the problem is that those 2,000 people weren't probably interested in the CRM. So when they were doing their follow-ups afterwards, all these people they're going through, so I'm really sorry you didn't win, but look, we're up now, we're not interested in the CRM.
Yeah.
As opposed, there was another company, a really small company, they were on a relatively small stand, low budget, low investment. They picked up, it was about 500 leads or 400 leads. But what they'd actually offered was a free 3-month contract for their services. So they knew that anyone that was coming in that was interested, was actually entering the competition, had an interest in their product.
Exactly.
And trying to and that's just the kind of tip of the iceberg, but something like that is just...
It's a no-brainer really, because, you can give away a cheap bottle of champagne, but, all you're going to get is business cards for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And also, one of the funny things that Dave told me was that he would basically put his business card in everybody's competition bowl.
Yeah.
Never got a call.
Really?
And I said, well, I didn't call you because I know you. Why would I call you? But then I thought, actually, all the other people, why did they not call? Because this is the biggest thing. They go to the expo, they're there all day, and they go, brilliant, I've read all these people, it's so good, and I've collected all these pens, and I've ate these cakes, and I went and got a free plant, and all that kind of thing. And then they go home and then they forget about it because they're busy doing what they're doing. You need to make sure that after the expo, you've planned out probably a whole week to be on the phone or emailing and contacting all of those people while it's fresh in their mind. Because after that, 2 weeks later, you're going to be fish paper, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fish paper.
Exactly, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know
in the olden days, I'm showing my age.
Yesterday's fish paper.
Exactly, yeah.
Love it.
But
no, you're right. It's all in the follow-up, isn't it? Like you say, you may have a 30-minute, 45-minute conversation. The same goes for, any kind of marketing activity. If that person... Again, I use it all the time, but, it takes between 8 and 12 points of contact before somebody will buy a product or a service. So you meet them the first time at an exhibition, they may not buy there and then, but the next time you speak to them, you follow them up with an email, a call, whatever. Yeah, so yeah.
It is, and what you said about the competition thing, it does make sense. If you can spend a little bit of time thinking of what you can do that's actually going to attract the people that you're wanting to without wasting your time. Because those 2,000 people, somebody's had to sit and ring them or email them, and to not get anything back, that's a waste of time. You've just got to think differently about how you're going to attract the right people for you. And a competition with a bottle of champagne might be right for you, but not necessarily for everybody else. So this is the thing, it's thinking about how, for yourself, your business, what do you do, what attracts your clients anyway? What do you already do, and how does that work, and how can you put that into an expo? So that's kind of...
Agreed. I'll tell you, one of the best ones I saw actually was in the build up to an event. There's a company, I'll give them a little shout out. They're called Peek and Poke, and they basically they're computer game designers. Yeah. And they created this. They've got a bunch of different games that they can kind of brand to your business. Yeah. And if people want to have a go, basically the top score at the end of the event wins like a really nice prize. But everybody puts their emails into it if they want to have a go. Yeah. Incredible. Great idea.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all you've got to do is just, you got to find a way to attract the people to your stand anyway. Yes. If you've invited people to come and see you, your stand's going to be busy. It's common knowledge that if you walk by and there's a stand that's busy, everyone's like, oh, why is it busy on there, what they're doing? But you need to make sure you've got enough people there to be managing those people that are there, and then grabbing the ones that are walking past.
How many people do you see come along, have a little look, oh, there's no one that can speak to me, I'll come back to this, never see them again?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I think that the booking system we've got is going to be a really good thing, probably to keep, because to book in and plan your day, you know who you're going to see at that event, and then you can plan also with regards to any of the networking events you go to, any of the speakers. It just will make your day a lot better, I think.
Agreed. So we talk about networking again, a lovely little segue, but you've been involved in networking now for a long time.
Yeah, when I moved here, it's 2013, so it was 8 years. 8 years ago.
Amazing. In your experience, what makes a good networking session? Because we've both been at networking events that have been amazing. Yeah. Obviously, we've both been to your
YP,
partnerships, and obviously SWBC as well. AGN as well, of course. Yeah. What, in your experience and your personal opinion, makes a good networking session?
I personally think that the best type of networking events are the ones where you're not just left to get on with it, really, because, so thinking back to when we went and did face-to-face events, I was part of the South West Women's Business, not Connections, but South West Women, God, I've got it the wrong way around now, but basically the women's it's because they changed the name, but the Women in Business networking. Okay.
It's not one I'm aware of for
well, exactly, reasons, yes. And I used to go in there and I'd be quite shy and stand at the back and not talk, because I just felt like I didn't fit in. I wasn't the suited and booted lady and all this kind of thing, and
the woman about town.
Exactly. And I just thought, I'm tattooed and pierced and all the rest of it, and I probably just don't fit in. And but I was very wrong, because actually they were lovely people and nobody cares about any of that stuff. It's about who you are. And one of the things they taught me was that if you're a little bit nervous about going to these events, turn up early. Because if you turn up before everybody else, I guarantee the people will come and talk to you. And I thought, no. So I tried it. And then they did, and they're like, oh, I know you. I've seen you on social media. So this is the thing, you have to do a little bit of everything, I think. Yeah. But to make the event the best event for me, it's just having good conversations that are not business related. Yeah. The same applies when I have a meeting, actually. I don't, probably for the first 10, 15 minutes, I don't talk about anything to do with South West Business Connections or any other job I've ever had, because it's just salesy. And I don't think... I just can't do it. It's not me.
I think it's important as well, on that note, to also say that because I had my first experience probably about 6 months ago where I had to sack a client. Yes. And it's for exactly that reason. I didn't understand enough about the person behind the business that I'd be dealing with, and they were, we didn't align perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is rubbish, because they needed a service that we provided. And we were obviously looking for new clients at that stage as well. So I completely agree. I think that's really, really important to do that.
Well, it's like now. So because obviously we're going out and about a bit more, we're going to be still doing the 11s on a Monday and a Friday. But all of the other
That's
Zoom...
That's an active lot, I'm going to say that.
Yeah, they are an active lot, a very funny bunch. But we are going to be doing the first ever 11s live. So that's going to be a physical meetup somewhere soon.
Amazing.
We've also got lots of other things planned, more face-to-face. But one of the things I'm going to be doing within the next couple of weeks are messaging people that I know are in a particular area that I know don't know each other. And I'm going to say, look, why don't the 6 of us go for lunch and try and do some like matchmaking with individuals that I won't know exactly if every single person doesn't know each other, because especially down in Cornwall, because I've been in Exeter so much now, there's probably people that have met on a Zoom or whatever. But the idea being is trying to connect people that haven't chatted.
Yep.
But also it gets me the opportunity to go and meet these people as well and just have a general chat with them and just start to do more face-to-face stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's the plan.
Amazing.
And I'm going to be going all over the South West, so I'm going to do a road trip.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, count me in.
For sure, yes, definitely.
Massage. And finally, I would like to touch upon as well, obviously you have your own podcast.
I do, yes.
Love Always Lisa podcast.
Yeah.
What prompted you? What was the inspiration behind launching?
So basically, I thought about doing a podcast for a long time. My son does one, mental health podcast. And I know a lot of people that do podcasts and stuff. And I just thought, well, the Love Always Lisa thing, the story behind why it's called that is because that's what I always used to sign off notes to my husband. And the reply disappeared kind of thing. So I carried on thinking, well, if I've got a lot of love to give, I can share it with everybody. It doesn't need to be that sort of love. It's just being kind and loving. And everything I do is genuinely with kindness. And I try to be the nicest person I can. Sometimes people don't believe it, think that I'm fake, but I genuinely am not. I am exactly as I've always been. And someone said to me, well, I just think that you're authentic, Lisa. You are exactly as you are. You know, you showed up all the time the same way. You don't talk a different talk to every different person suited. You're just you, and that's the good thing, and that's what the attraction is towards talking to you, because what you see is what you get. And so when I was thinking about the podcast, I thought, well, I'm nearly 45, and it's taken me a long time.
I'm going to throw that in there. You don't.
Oh, you're very sweet. So it's taken me all of that time to get to be where I'm comfortable to think I'm good enough. And I started talking to lots of ladies and men who also feel like they're not good enough for anything because society says so, or because of something that was said to you when you were younger or that happened. And I just thought, I know, I'm going to do a podcast. It's not about me. Although people always have told me I talk too much. I thought, well, if I talk too much, then I'll use my voice to help other people talk. Did think to myself, I don't have a voice for a podcast and no one's going to listen. But obviously I've been wrong. And even yesterday with this week's one gone out, the messages I've had, it's just mad. I can't get my head around it. And it's all because I just thought, let's get some people on who've got a real good story to share. They all have a common ground. They all lead with love. They're all kind and they're all authentic. But everybody's story is different. They're all over the place. I've got people from America that have done it. I've got somebody that wants to do this from Australia. It's just mad because I'm like, I'm just Lisa and I can't understand why. But it is what it is. And I'm really happy. And I'm just glad to be able to just have some nice conversations with people, because it is good to be nice. It's not, people say, oh, nice is not, it's a bad word, don't use nice. But basically, it is nice, you know, it's good to be good to people.
Of course it
and
is,
it's nice to be nice. And I got that from the South West Women's Business
It
group.
definitely takes less energy to be nice than it does to be horrible. And I don't know if it's true or not, but that thing you always get told about, it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Like,
well, it's also, so if I've been working in the pub locally as well in the evenings at the minute, and Obviously, in hospitality, you do get people that are complaining and not happy about waiting and such. And it is what it is. If it's busy, it's busy. There's, we can apologise and all the rest. But
be a good name for a restaurant. It is what it is.
It is what it is, exactly. Yeah. But I've not had anybody be rude to me because no matter what, I smile. And it's very hard to be horrible to somebody if they're smiling at you. And I was taught that a long time ago. So I just smile. Inside, I might be furious. I might be upset, ready to cry. But I smile because that's what's got me through a lot of stuff, a lot of horrible, hard stuff. And obviously, the mental health side of things. And Love Always Lisa was an expansion of the Beyond the Yellow Brick Road side of things. So, you'd need a 3-4 hour podcast for me to tell you about it all, to be fair, because it's a lot of stuff. But Love Always Lisa is the after Beyond the Yellow Brick Road. Beyond the Yellow Brick Road was my journey of helping my husband with his mental health and how I changed my views on things because I was living a certain way that wasn't good for me. I am beyond the Yellow Brick Road, and I've found myself and I've found my place, and I'm happy being me, and I love myself, and I realise that that's not selfish or big-headed to say you love yourself, and I just want others to know that that's okay. And hopefully younger people don't wait till you're 45, because you should love yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you love yourself first, then you can love everybody else.
I like that.
So
it's that old adage as well of where they say if you can be happy with yourself on your own, then you don't kind of need somebody else there to boost up your happiness, if that makes sense. So,
and it doesn't mean that you don't have a wobble, because nobody's perfect, I often think to myself, oh, I can't believe I'm doing this podcast, and what if I let people down? And then I think, Lisa, you're not going to let anybody down. You're hosting it. It's your podcast. Don't worry about you're not going to let anyone down. People are happy to come and talk and share their story. Just enjoy it. I'm more nervous sitting here doing this than being on the other side of the table.
Well, this sounds nice. I just ask questions and then you answer. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming today.
You're welcome.
I would like you, if possible, just to give us a 60-second rundown on how people can reach out to you.
Yeah, of course.
And what you do, almost a 60-second pitch, if you will.
Okay, no worries. So you can find me on all social media as Lisa Bailey Brown. That's probably the easiest way to connect with me. southwestbusinessconnections.co.uk and southwestbusinessexpo.co.uk are the two websites to look at if you want to look at exhibiting. I was going to say exploring then. It's because you said 60 seconds.
Exploring, exhibiting. They can explore exhibiting.
Exactly. So it's easy really. Just look for Lisa Bailey Brown. I guarantee if you Google me, it's quite scary actually, because I'm there all the time.
I love it. Well, whenever you Google Gavin Harris, it comes up with that. There's a film called Football or something, Score or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like the main villain, and it's just always Gavin Harris is horrible. I'm like, oh god. But yeah. I think it's my surname. It stands out a little bit, doesn't it? So, but yeah, you'll also probably get some photographs from way back along at Urban when I was drunk, and I'm on their website. So I apologise for that. Good, it's good. Well, look, thank you again for coming to see me. No, thank you. And yes, thank you again for watching.